So let me show you this, and can you work out what's going on here in Excel? So we've got two views of the same file. Now, if I add some data to this table, I can see this analysis of these two tables updating on the right. If I go ahead and delete a row from this table, I can see this analysis updating on the right too. But how is this analysis working? Is this a pivot table? Is it something fancy with code? Well, this is modern Excel power. So a great way to get started with dynamic arrays is with the sequence formula. So let's go ahead, tab it into Excel. Now use the tab key to populate it there. Just try putting a single number in, hitting enter, and suddenly you have a dynamic array. How do we know it's a dynamic array? Because it's bordered in blue. It's got that slight shading beneath it. It's like it's sitting on top of the grid. And also because we can only edit it in the first formula in the array. I can see the formula displaying as normal in the editing bar. If we go down the array, it's kind of grayed out. We can only edit the formula in the first formula in the array. How else do we know it's an array? Well, if you type a text entry in, you're going to get a spill error. What's the spill error all about? Well, it's because we have an entry obstructing the display of the array. The array can't spill down. That's why we get the spill error. You can fix this, of course, by removing the obstruction, or you could reduce the size of the array, and now we can see the array displaying properly again. So I'm going to restore the size here, but this is how to create an array using sequence. This is what they look like in Excel, and that's how to fix the spill error that you'll see quite a lot if you're working with arrays. But just a sequence of numbers, that's not particularly useful for us. Now, I'm using these formulae all the time to create reports, row and column headers. So how might we make this a little bit more interesting? Well, what about if we prepend, or if we prepend some text here with our dynamic array formula, and suddenly we've got some row headers. So this is getting more interesting for me, but it could be, any number of row headers. That's the power of dynamic array formulae. So we've got some potential row headers. Next, we need some data to put into our report. And with dynamic arrays, you never need to worry about generating random data. It's easily done with the RANDARRAY formula. This is how easy it is to generate 9 random numbers, but we can do it with more precision than that using the other options in the RANDARRAY formula. And as always in Excel, once you start pointing these formula inputs to actual cells in the spreadsheet, suddenly you get massive control, versatility from your formulae. And this last input decides if we want an integer, if we want a whole number or not. In our case, we do. So this formula is going to give us a lot of power to generate random numbers. Once ahead, go ahead, have a play. We can go ahead, resize this array. We can change the min and the max. For me, 0 and 2 is going to work fine, and the size of this array is perfect. At this point, I'm going to convert to values, and I'm going to go ahead and create a table here, because to move forward, this is going to be the easiest way, although we're going to return to arrays later. So arrays, it's not just about creating data, it's also about operating on data and analyzing data. Yes, this is when I actually really sat up and listened to arrays. You can analyze these arrays too, as we're going to see as we go through these series. But what's a typical operation that you might want to perform on a data set? In this case, a table of data. We're going to get to doing this on an array later. It's as simple as that with the sort formula. I can see my data now sorted, the zeros coming to the top there. But once again, if we take control of the rest of the formula, we can do much more with these dynamic array formulae. So what's happening now? Well, I'm sorting by column 3, so I want to change this to 1, and then let's bring the highest numbers, the largest numbers, to the top, and I can see I've now got 2 2s at the top of this data set, a 1 and 3 zeros, which corresponds to the first data, the first column in our table. You want to sort by the second column or the third column. You want to change the column order. This is all possible with the sort formula. So Hi guys, Chris here. I just wanted to quickly tell you we have a 4-page PDF that accompanies this video series, Excel Dynamic Arrays for Beginners. It should be your reference point, hopefully, for dynamic arrays for the rest of your career. And this video is part of the Year of Your Excel Success. It's a year-long training course right here on YouTube. It's free. The links for both are in the video description below. Back to the video. How cool is that? But what's another thing that just takes ages in Excel? Yes, how much time do you spend filtering Excel, working through all those clicky menus? I hate it, and we don't need to do it, or we can do it much less. Now we have the filter formula. So I'm going to go ahead, select the table again, and then we can decide what data we want to include. So we have to select the column that we want to include or exclude by, and then we say equals, and then we say the value that we want to include. So I'm going to start with 0 here. And what can I see? Well, I can see there's 3 rows that begin with 0 in our table, and those rows are being displayed here. How cool is that? Well, let's go ahead and point this to a formula, point it to a cell rather. And now we have awesome control over the data being filtered and coming into the file. But you're saying, but Chris, this is a table. I want to do this cool stuff, not just to a table. I want to do it to an array. I'm glad you asked, because there's many more formulae coming in the next video in this series. I'd love to hear what you think in the YouTube comments. I will get back to you there. See you in the next video.